Now, Duncan, when you look at what's happened over the last several months, particularly with this election, we've got a new candidate essentially, being elected by a younger voter base who are voting for the very first time. But he said that he's going to take a tough stance when it comes to President Trump. Can he really separate that from what he wants to get done on NAFTA in particular?
Yeah, I think that we have to take those words with a pinch of salt. There's been a very encouraging sign tonight. I mean, President Trump tweeted out a congratulations to Andres Manuel very shortly after the other candidates conceded defeat. And that gives us the possibility for a little bit of a reset in the relationship. Many of us have speculated, in fact, that Trump and AMLO may actually see more eye to eye than Trump and Peña Nieto did before them. So I think that a lot of this depends upon the attitude and the discourse and the tweets coming out of the White House, rather than Andres Manuel himself. But I can tell you one thing. If the insults against Mexico and Mexicans continue, if the insistence on that Mexico will pay for the wall continues, and if Donald Trump continues to say that Mexico is doing nothing to help in the struggle to contain Central American migration, then Andres Manuel will not just sit back and take it. He will respond. And that could lead to a serious deterioration of the relationship. But I'm here in the Zocalo in Mexico City. There's more than 100,000 supporters gathering here in what is the second largest public square. They're waiting for the man to arrive. And the sense of euphoria, the sense of celebration is incredible here. So I think that this man is going to come in. He's got a huge opportunity. He will have a very strong honeymoon period. He's going to emerge as a superstar of Latin American politics. And he has the opportunity right now to do very, very important things for the country.
And Duncan, you talk about this state of euphoria among voters. Is this because they were so frustrated by allegations of corruption, but also the crime that has inflicted Mexico recently seems to be only worsening? And to me, this seems to be the #1 task that AMLO will have to tackle, because a breakdown in the rule of law doesn't do anything good for the economy here.
Exactly. Those two issues, corruption and public insecurity, violence, the rule of law, they're very closely connected. I was out at polling stations today here in Mexico City, and I just casually interviewed people who had just voted and asked them what was the main issue that they were concerned about. And pretty much everybody said security. Even though it may not be an issue in their neighborhood, they're worried about what's going on at the national level. And so this is an issue which Andres Manuel has promised that he will be able to address, but he's given absolutely zero details on how he's going to do it, beyond the simple idea that he will provide amnesty to small drug producers, poor rural campesinos who have no other option but to grow drugs and sell them to the cartels. So I don't see a strategy there. But let's face it, the guy has 5 months of a transition period from July 1st today until December 1st when he takes office. And during that period, I think we're going to see the delineation of a strategy to take on organized crime. My prediction is it won't actually be that different from what we've seen for the past 12 years, because let's face it, there aren't many options.
Duncan, as you say, it's always the devil that's in the details, and you're saying that this program that we expect to see rolled out over the next several months ahead of him taking office isn't really going to be that different from what we've seen before. If you take a step back here and you look at it from a market perspective, that could cause some worry, couldn't it?
Well, actually, I think that the intent that we've seen from Andres Manuel and his team is to send a reassuring message to markets more than anything. Let's face it, the markets aren't that spooked about violence in Mexico or even corruption in Mexico. Those are issues that matter to the electorate. What they are concerned about is Mexico going to continue with a free trade model? Is Mexico going to continue to try to attract foreign direct investment? Is Mexico going to allow the energy reform, which took place in 2013, continue, or to at least let the contracts that have already been awarded to continue? Andres Manuel addressed that issue directly in his acceptance speech a few minutes ago, and he said that they are going to review the contracts that have been issued to make sure there are no illegalities in there. So I think that we're looking right now at a pretty orthodox economic policy that's been laid out by Andres Manuel. But the markets are going to follow it very clearly, and what I'm certain of is they will punish Andres Manuel if they see that he's straying from that path of fiscal austerity and economic orthodoxy.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.